Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is a Rumble Foreskin, and it is 121. It's a tier 10 game on steps. And yes, I remember the map, unlike yesterday's. If you want to go look that up, feel free to. It's a Conqueror game. I'm not an idiot most of the time, I swear. This is the tier 10 Chinese medium tank. Yes, that is correct. And Rumpel swears by this thing, though. I can't get over his lack of gun depression. So we'll just have to agree to disagree on this thing. But anyways, so I'm probably going to end up calling him Max for most of the game, because I've known him as Max for a lot longer than I've known him as anything else. So yeah. You know he's loading... Wait. 2020... There's 0? Okay. I need to pause this for a second and say one thing before the rant starts. First off, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways you can do so is to share this with your friends and clanmates. Thank you. And now that that's out of the way, I can start the rant on why you should always carry HE shells. If you're new to World Tanks or you haven't played a ton of games, and you're not extremely good at tanks, always carry some HE shells. So Max has decided that he doesn't want to carry any. I understand that. The high explosive anti-tank rounds or heat acts as HE shells in a lot of cases, but you still want to carry some HE because of the fact that you don't want to be spending 4,000 gold or whatever, or 4,000 credits or whatever it turns out to be. It's probably more like 6 or something like that at his with tier 10, or something horribly expensive to shoot around, especially if all you're trying to do is reset a cap. And resetting a cap is one of the things that the HE shells get used the most for. Occasionally, I mean, unless you're talking about a derp tank, and derp tanks are completely separate, I'm not going to talk anything about them. But if you're using a standard tank, and the only things you should be using HE shells for is if you're going to pen something that is extremely light on armor, something like a Scorpion G, or a Waffentrager, especially the shield, around the gun mantle shield. Not the gun mantle, but the gun shield, sorry. Or the side or slash back of a French tank occasionally. Especially the heavies at the back and the mediums on the sides and stuff. Or light tank. For those things, an HE shell is decent to use, and it's perfectly worthwhile, and you'll use it like that once in a while. But generally, you don't have time to reload an HE shell for that encounter unless you can see it coming about 15 seconds ahead of time, and you have time to plan and load the HE shell. Unless you have some cool intuition, will occasionally load a shell for you without the reloading time if you switch types. But most of the time, HE shells are used to reset cap, and that's why you want 2 or 3 of them kicking around your tank. I wouldn't keep more than 5 of them on a given tank, unless again it's a derp tank or an artillery, because of the fact that the use cases of them are so rare that they hardly ever come up. But you should keep some of them on your tank. 3 to 5, depending on how much ammo your actual tank carries. If it carries only a little bit of ammo, then take 2 or 3 shells. If it carries a bunch of ammo, like the FSIM 50 carries like 70 rounds or something like that. So I have a bunch of HE shells. I might even have 6 on there, but I'm pretty sure I only have 5. But either way, it's a ton of HE shells compared to what other tanks, like say the IS-3, can load. And then, but that all being said and done, occasionally players who either think they know all that there is to know, or are extremely good and are confident on that skill, do take loadouts like this. But I wouldn't recommend this for anybody who doesn't truly understand the game and has played a bunch of battles and is extremely, extremely good at the game. Okay, back to the gameplay. What was I talking about before all this rant started? I don't remember. Great. So he's taking up position. He's trying to be... Basically, he's trying to show as little of his tank as possible. So if you were to shoot at this, unless you hit him flush, like square on right here, and had some sort of gold round loaded, you're more likely to just ricochet off the tank. Or you could hit his cupolas, though those are again quite small and hard to hit. The fact that the enemy hasn't pushed up to this point is kind of worrisome. We can see the KV4s, the first thing. KV4s are the first thing that we're gonna really hit, but there isn't. I mean, well, it's kind of weird having just these. And we've only seen 4 enemy tanks on this whole side, which is odd. There should be a lot more over here, which either means there's a ton sitting back at base, or the other side is going to receive a massive push, and there's no way to know that for the next minute or so. But after that, we'll get quite until a lot more of them start popping up our maps. We obviously can't tell where they are. We can guess though. The tank destroyers are probably back at the base, so this is probably the entire push on this side, which is why we have a friendlies already pushing up into the enemy. Max just sat back and farmed as much damage as he could. It serves the dual purpose of getting him more damage, so he eventually gets more credits and experience, but also whittles down the enemy and makes it harder for them to push into the tanks that are advancing on them. And so in that way, ooh, look, see, like that, we had 3 tanks hiding back here. Now one of them was the 46 Patton that we had nailed earlier, and one was the Carnarvon that we saw briefly. And of course we followed the Lorraine up there, but it's still, they're basically just hiding and waiting for us, which is a little strange on this map, as it isn't a good play. let's go with isn't a good play. It's a very bad play, actually. Unless you're absolutely forced into it, this is a bad tactic to do on this map. But since the enemy is doing it and we don't want to interrupt them while they're making mistakes, keep doing it, guys, right? I mean, you can see the way they've died truly shows you this is not a tactic that was going to work very well. And of course, now the Carnarvon's got himself tracked, we're going to reload before he gets over. Well, somebody's going to reload before he gets over. And the Patton was smart enough to bail as soon as he realized what was going wrong, and he has actually made it back behind these tracks. Yeah, we're gonna get hit in the side if we're not really careful about how we're going about this. But because the team, Max is confident that these guys can push back and pick off everything that might be trying to pop up from here and shoot him in the side, and so he's just gonna keep pushing in. And you can see just, you know, like almost offhandedly takes out the Conqueror because of the fact that it's dangerous to him and it's dangerous to his team, but he also couldn't hit the Patton. Not really well anyway. He's already a beautiful shot on the Conqueror, so take the shots that you have, you know, clear shots over shots that are not so good when it's, you know, when you're not certain which you should be shooting. Alternatively, also targets you know you can take out in a single shell should always be priority targets. I don't care if they're low health. If you're trying to do like a damage mission, I understand, but 9% of the time you should be taking out single, like low health targets first, because of the fact that the less guns there are in, the more likely you are to survive, and the more likely you are to win. For a sec there, I thought that Foch was inside the rock a little bit, and he's not. I shot into the side of the ST1. I don't know what that ST1 was doing coming around the ridgeline. He's attacking for some weird, strange reason. It's almost like he doesn't know we're here, but obviously he does know we're here. I'm guessing he's trying to get a kill, or he's just stupid. Or both. So we started this game with 20 rounds of each. We're down to 4 standard rounds left. Hasn't fired a drop of gold yet. Coming up on this IS-7. This is one of the ones he could use gold on if he wanted to shoot from the front, but as he's just going around the side of it, this is another one that gold would be really handy on. Of course, apparently this gun doesn't need it. 258 pen. Yeah. Wait, is that the side? Yeah, that's the... now I get it. The Moss was trying to reverse side scrape, and I couldn't see that from the angle he was on. I don't understand the reverse side scraping. That was such a horrible idea. Now, yesterday there was a whole drama about whether or not you could grab the brothers in arms by platooning up before the end of the game. Well, as you can see, Rumpel and the STRV managed it without getting themselves into a mess. Good job, guys, and well played. Yeah, this was a good game. It's the first time I've actually seen the 121 in action when I haven't been driving beside it. So this is a much better tank than I thought it was in a bunch of aspects, but I still can't get over that lack of gun depression. It just gets me every time. We'll jump over and see the stats now. Mastery badge, first class, fighter, fire for effect, brothers in arms, and the high caliber. Yeah. How is this not a first class? 5,000 damage. Which is so much above the rest of his team. It's not even funny. I'd ask how an Oho only gets 2 damaging shots off, but I'm pretty sure it's because he died before he could get any more off. We're not even going to go into the other... Well, I guess that the T92 did what it could do. And the STRV was kind of our page. Oh, I mean, still, everyone else is half as damage or less. That is just horrendous, actually. What? Why? No, we're gonna. Before I start to cry, we're gonna leave that page and stop looking at all that stuff. So with combined damage, he did almost 7,000 damage, but apparently that's not enough for an ace tanker in this thing. Oh no! That's only enough for first class. Good lord, what do you have to do in this thing to get an ace tanker? Well, thank you very much for saying this in, Max, and thank you everybody for watching. Please, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways you can do so, other than hitting the like button, of course, is to share this with your friends and clanmates. And I will see you all later. Thank you all for watching. This is ioEther out.